If you don't like lies, don't date a Libra.
One, two, three, four.
Welcome to Libra season, where apparently Vanessa is a liar because she's not a
A
Libra.
liar.
Well, actually, no,
Holy
no, no.
fuck.
Maybe that actually does make her a liar because it's Libra season, and we all know that Libras are the top liars. Sorry, but not sorry to any Libras, especially the Libra men out there. And so, have you ever dated a Libra, Vanessa?
No. No,
No,
and that's
don't.
probably why I've had a lot of shitty relationships, and I don't know what a healthy relationship is like because Libras and Geminis are supposed to be like on point with each other.
If you don't like lies, don't date a Libra, especially not a Libra man. I think that Libra women, I have a love hate relationship with Libra women. I think that they're great. Where we have like we always form like a really good friendship at
Hmm.
first that'll last like a couple months, and then something will pop off where we are just like, mm-mm, mm-mm. But I still like them though. But it's just something about them that I'm just like, or not something about them, like it's just like how they handle the situation that I'm like, absolutely no,
See,
you
I've
can
never
never talk to me
like a
again.
lot of the Libras I deal with, maybe it because it's in my own family, so there we have to consider there's a lot of trauma involved. They're very passive.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Maybe that's it.
my middle brother, because he's my middle brother, he's a pretty like chill. He can, okay, I shouldn't say he's a pretty chill dude. So I want to say my brother's chill, but he did one time yell at a dude that he hopes he gets into a car accident and dies on his way to his daughter's wedding over donuts. Uh, yeah, he's calmed down after four kids. Like that does shit. After a while, you just get too tired of being angry all the time. So calm down a lot. Like after four kids, and his wife really has made him like because I think the worst part is me and my oldest brother and kind of encouraged it. We thought that shit was hilarious because of how creative he was in his like anger.
Yeah.
His wife, his sweet Virgo wife, not so much. She was appalled and we're like, what? That's like normal to us.
Oh my God.
But like my cousin who's a Libra, she is very, my cousin and my uncle are both Libras actually, and they're very chill and very passive.
Hmm.
And just they kind of just let shit happen.
I think that Libras are very likable. Definitely both the men and women. But all of the Libra men that I have ever met have been super charismatic. But they are either commitment phones, which is ironic because it's a Venus ruled sign. So you would think commitment would be their thing, like they're the
Y-
scale. It seems judicial that they be commitment lovers. But actually, no. And maybe that's why those scales are always going like this, because they're just like, don't know if I want to commit or not.
Yeah,
And then they're
they
air
are
signs. So
very indecisive. Oh,
yes.
they're the fucking worst. I remember when my brother first got like I'm going to keep going back to my brother girl because
Uh,
he is like what I this is like a quintessential Libra. He's like he can never make a decision on anything. And he has to weigh out everything. They're traveling the country right now because they couldn't just he couldn't decide where he wanted to like live.
to live. I
So,
mean, it seems like a good option. Just just go visit everywhere and then make a decision.
yeah, that's basically it took him months to decide on what kind of a phone he wanted, and he still second guessed himself when he got his first cell phone. God damn it. Just make a decision and stick with it.
I think like all of the Libras, because so I think my first kind of interaction with a Libra was a Libra man, and we were both working at Ruby Tuesday, and I was very new, and obviously he knew that, and he was just smoothest thing in there. I probably would not think that today, but
Mm.
his name was, I remember that. And
You
he
know I'm
had,
being
so his name was,
witch cackles.
which, and he had, he was like every time like I would be like we would be in the back together waiting on food to go out, he would be flirting, he would touch me, and of course I was eating it up, right? And then I had a friend that also served there, and she was like, he has a girlfriend. Her name is
Witch
Rich
cackles
Cackle.
too.
And I was like, and ironically, but unironically, this girl always seemed like she had an attitude. Probably because she knows her boyfriend. Because she was like, I just asked my friend, I was like, did she know that he like
He's a
boyfriend? And she was
hoe.
like, oh yeah, yeah. She was like, oh yeah, she knows. They've broken up and gotten back together so many times because of it. And I forget the reasoning. I think it was like so she was
Oh,
like just kind of like, yeah. And so but he was such a dick. He invited me over to his house, like for a booty call. Like, and this was after I had confronted him about him having a girlfriend. So Libra men, they can be honest, but even when they're honest, they're still dicks about it. Like, but they're charismatic dicks. Charis-
what you needed was a Libra man with no fucking self-esteem. That would be like my brother.
and oh my god, so he must have been the Rizzly bear. He must have been rizzing it up. He was getting those tips. Rizzly Bear over there. The king of
Half
Riz.
ass and oh god, we have our second bear themed title. Half ass and Libra, Rizzly Bears.
Libra Rizzly Bear.
Half ass and Libra Rizzly.
But yeah, I guess he like just got like really good tips because he was probably ribbing up the ladies at the table and they were giving him big tips.
Libra season. So we're still in Virgo
But yeah,
season. How was your Virgo season, Micah? How was your Virgo season?
it was a mixed bag, honestly. Like, then he got sick. I had to nurse him back to health because myself, because the fucking vet that was supposed to check him out decided to up their prices unexpectedly, and they overbooked themselves. So when I came with Benny to have him his appointment, they didn't have space for him, and so I had to basically take him home and have him and like get him back to health myself, which is why you'll see me every once in a while looking over to the side because he has lots of energy. I think he's fine. He has the zoomies right now. He is doing just fine. This dog is fully recovered, I think. Because, yeah, he is rubbing his face on the floor. He's playing with his bones. So if you hear like little clacks or whatever. Then I also got my money stolen while I was at a Sheetz
What?
drive-through. Yeah, I had gone to a drive-through at Sheetz to get lunch or something like that, breakfast, something like that. And I thought I was just gonna have a nice, relaxing day, get some breakfast from Sheetz, go to the plant store, come home, do like run a couple errands, come home. I go to Sheetz for breakfast, and goodbye, Benny. Goodbye. I go to Sheetz and I buy my breakfast. It's like $6.98. Buy it, leave, go to the plant store. Something makes me look at my debit card like transactions, and I see that I have not one transaction from Sheetz, but two. One for the actual amount that I paid, and then a second one for $5 that I later found out when I had called Sheetz on this and I went back to the drive-through and the manager looked at the two charges on my phone. He was like, well, one of these is a debit, which is what you paid for the actual food. And then the second one is, they're saying it's an ATM POS. And I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it means like when you go to like pay for something and then you take out like money, like because that's ATM POS. That's what that means to me.
Yeah, it's an
Is
ATM fee.
yeah. And so I'm like, I didn't get any money out. And so they were like, well, and so it was the manager and the girl that checked me out, and she like stayed behind because the manager went to go do something. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you caught that." And I was like, "Mm-hmm." I was like, because it was such a small amount. I'm like, she could have been the only person that would have done that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it always surprises me how because I've had this happen to me one time before when I went to a Red Lobster. And so I had to end up going to Sheets, getting my $5 back after the $5 charge actually cleared, because they wouldn't give me my money back until it wasn't pending anymore. But I will
fucking
never go to
course.
Sheets again. Yeah. And so, because they were like, oh, it might just be a hold. And I'm like, a hold on drive through food? Are we serious? Absolutely not.
You high?
So,
You high. I feel like you high. You gotta be high.
it was insane. But I did make a good amount of money, like with my astrology and tarot business. Lots of eureka moments during this time. But I figured it would be like that because Virgo is I'm in a ninth house perfection year. And so it was a lot of Virgo is my ninth in my chart. And so I knew Virgo season was going to be just very action packed, with lots of new ideas, um, lots of like thought provoking moments and things like that. Wow, my camera is doing like the most right now.
I love it.
So I'm just gonna
I love it.
keep my hands down here.
Like our listening audience is not seeing like how your camera is like right there with you in the emotions.
Yes.
Just shaking with you like mm-mm, mm-mm. Like,
Yes. I'm like, if only it would do it like when we need it to, like I feel like those like surprising moments and it was like zoom in. That would be great. Or like
yeah.
just zoom out. But yeah, my Virgo season was very interesting. Um, not bad, not all bad, not all good, but it was action packed for sure. How was your Virgo season?
Also action packed. Moving on.
You
There's a
have two
lot.
Virgos in your house.
I got two Virgos in my house. And one of like the one I have sex with is definitely stressing.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I'm raising kind of just crumbled and is falling apart. And we're
Yeah.
having, growing pains right now with them.
Mm-hmm.
And growing pains with is always, and I don't know, maybe it's because she has two Gemini parents. I gotta look at her. We gotta look closer at her placements here, because growing pains with, I'm sorry, Sombra. I'm beeping out her regular name. Growing pains with Sombra is a fucking it is a whole fucking production. It's a whole fucking production. I am very much looking forward to Libra season.
Yes. Okay. So since we're in Libra season, for all intents and purposes, let's we've already talked about relationships. I feel like we've already talked about so much on like Libra already. We've talked about fragrance, which is a very much Libra thing. This is the Venus rule sign. We
Yeah.
have an eclipse happening in Libra season on October 2nd, which will be
Ooh.
interesting. By the time you guys are seeing this, you'll already have been through the first eclipse at the very least. Um, at the very least, in Virgo season, which was the lunar eclipse in Pisces. So make sure you let us know down in the comments how you are faring, because that one is a doozy. And I cannot wait until we come back in Scorpio season to kind of like talk about all of these eclipses and what happened. during that
God,
time.
I just realized because I've been doing so, but no, because I have classes starting September, so like right after the start of Libra season, all the way up until the middle of Scorpio season on witchcraft. So this will be fun. Or
Also,
folk magic.
yes, but it also like ties into fashion and things like that, which is very Libra, like how you dress, how you present, things like that. And then we talked about relationships as well. I had a second Libra relationship where that one was serious, and that Libra, we had met on Tinder, and I think we met like within like 48 hours or something like that, because I remember I was on Tinder while I was at work, and we started messaging like in the morning, talking all day, and then like that weekend he came over to my house. I think it was within like 2 weeks we were living together. So, and then we were together for like a year before I broke up with him. Um, they say that lesbians move fast. I don't know. I don't know. Like, who moves faster, a lesbian or a Pisces? I'm not sure. And so we had moved in together within 2 weeks because he was there for an internship, and his internship was about to run out, and so where he was living was basically an Airbnb, and I was just kind of like, you might as well just stay here. You can stay here. You're over here all the time anyway, and so I let this man stay over live in my house for I think like 2 months. Yeah, like 2 months. And then he went home to North Carolina, and then we were together for a year. Sure, like after that year, we broke up. Then we came back together, maybe like a year or two later, and then he was a commitment phobe. I think he was always a commitment phobe, but it was more apparent. And then he was like a total dick about it, and then he stalked me for a little bit, like lightweight stalked me for a little bit after I broke up with him for the second
I shouldn't.
time. Okay, so we talked about Libra men and their lying and cheating ways. Let's talk a little bit about the magical side, because it is even though we're in Virgo season, Libra season, we are getting closer and closer to Halloween. And I have already started with this sign that says this is where the magic happens right here. And then I have my fancy candle, which you'll see more of hopefully when I get a power drill to put them on my wall back here. And it'll be spooky for Scorpio season, hopefully.
For our viewing audience, I would like to apologize if you've already kind of gotten seasick from watching Micah's camera. I too am getting a little bit nauseous from the movement.
And so we're all ready for spooky season. Just need to like get these couple things up, and yeah. Um, and so as we're talking about candles, you know what we should do? We should do some sort of like arts and crafts for Halloween, like a special episode of Halloween. Like,
Because that's the
yes,
only thing I can think of for Libras.
yes. And so with that being said, we should do like an arts and crafts where we dress candles, or like show everybody how we do like our own kind of like candle magic or whatever, or how we suggest that they do it. Doesn't have to be exactly how we do it, but I've also realized the more that because I started reading. For those of you that don't know, I started reading again at Spirit Apothecary in Bedford, Ohio, every Thursday, and then every first and third Saturday of the month. I'm there doing tarot and astrology readings. If you want to get a reading from me in person, that's the only place you can do it. Come check me out. But, oh,
I was going to say, no, you have to go there
yes,
because you have to get a reading.
yes.
And this is so we can get a camera that doesn't do weird shit to Micah. Listening audience, you have no fucking idea how many times her camera just zoomed in and out with me just saying have to.
It's not that it's bad, because I am coming through crystal clear. You can see all the details of my dahlias on my hair as it zoomed in again.
I like, but I like it zoomed in right this time.
And now I'm so conscious. I just move my shoulders. Like, yeah, okay.
Shimmy,
All right.
shimmy, shimmy. See what happens when you shimmy.
Nothing. So the more that I am at spirit, the more that I've realized that I've kind of completely fallen off. The more I guess witchy path. Not that I don't believe in it or anything like that. It's just that I think that when I first started, I was like, I need this, and that. I felt like I needed all the things to do magic. And now it's just me in the dark, like thinking things on a full moon. It's very minimalistic. Very minimalistic. And if I'm feeling very spicy, very witchy, I'll do it in yoga. That's It'll be me, a
Yeah.
yoga mat, and the full moon. But I do think that candle magic is a great way to manifest things, and so we are going to actually talk about something that you might use candles with. Vanessa would be the person that's gonna take the lead on this, which would be justice magic. Tell us about all the justice things for Libra season, casting
So
out
yeah,
the Libra
justice
liars.
magic, candles are your best option for justice magic. If you're going to go and do justice magic like before a court case, usually want to use an orange candle. Because this is half-ass witchery and I did all of the zero work on justice magic, I am pulling up the herbs that you would need for.
I would also say, Vanessa, like I said, Vanessa knows the most about this. If I were
Mhm.
doing this on my own and I had to ask Vanessa, I would also do like a black and white candle for just balance of light and dark. I don't know if that would be accurate, but I feel like you can't go wrong with a white candle, which is just like complete like a blank slate in my mind, and then
Mhm.
black, which is also kind of its own blank slate, but there's different undertones.
Yeah. So black and white candles are generally used in uh curse reversals. So
I have heard a lot of people lately saying that they're trying to reverse curses, and I was thinking about
we
you,
talked
Vanessa, in
about this in
particular
Virgo
yesterday.
season. Motherfuckers, not everybody's cursed. Some of y'all are just fucking stupid.
The lady was like, I was in spirit the other day, and the lady was like, "Yeah, yeah, I need a." I forget what she asked for, but she was like, "Yeah, I need this because I'm being attacked right now. I'm under attack." And I was like, she wouldn't say like what was happening, but or no, she said that like she said, yeah, I'm under attack, and then she said, yeah, like my son, he broke his leg the other day, and I feel like it's because I'm under attack, and I'm like, but she wouldn't elaborate, and so I'm assuming it had something to do with like the sort of curse or whatever. But what I would want to also know is in the words of my aunt who has passed away. And I loved and hated that she would ask me this question whenever I asked for help or backup on something. She would ask me what did I do before like with and it would irk me because I'm like, you're supposed to be on my side. Don't ask me what I did. Don't ask me what I did to get in this situation. Like she would ask me, okay, this person did this to you, but what did you do to them? I'm like, don't ask me that. But that is a perfect representation of Libra energy is being very fair
Hmm.
and getting the whole situation. So, sorry, this is so derailed from the Justice Magic section
No, it
that
isn't
I was
actually
talking about.
because I
But
think that's perfect. First thing you want to make sure you want to make sure is that are you truly in the right?
oh yeah, okay,
Like,
yes,
what did you do? Take responsibility for your shit because Justice Magic, especially Justice Magic in Libra season, that shit comes back fast.
yes,
So I always, every time I would do Justice Magic or that kind of magic on somebody, because I would do sigils. So I would um draw a sigil representing someone or representing myself, and then I would draw a sigil representing like scales, like justice, and the scales pointing in their favor. But I always had what's called the back door. So I didn't get in trouble. I'm like, listen, let let what happened need to happen to this person. And let the match and I got accused by my baby daddy of the magic not working. And I'm like, nah, I feel like he should have gone to jail, man. I I did a backdoor because I did a backdoor spell for a friend of his. I call it a backdoor
Mhm.
spell because I had a backdoor spell because I'm like, I don't know 100% this dude, and I don't know 100% if he was innocent.
Mm.
So I'm like, if these charges be false, if this is a false charge, let it be show, like let it show, let it. I'm like, he ended up in jail.
Mhm.
Even if those charges were false, he probably needed to go to jail for something.
Yeah.
I mean, you were friends with my baby daddy. You got to be shady. So yeah, legal magic herbs to use when doing legal magic is basil. I feel like basil is kind of like the quartz of the magic world of the herb magic world because it's used for fucking everything.
That
It
and
bas
rosemary.
that and that and rosemary, which if anybody's interested, rosemary is also really good for hair growth. So and
Oh.
thickening that hair and making it thickening it and darkening it.
Ooh.
So Angelica is also really good for justice magic, but it's more of a divine justice.
Can I
So
talk
like,
talk about something really quick?
sure, because this is
Justice
half-ass
magic, but
witchery.
yes, we're going on a tangent for a second because you were talking about how rosemary can darken your hair, but I was thinking about I don't know if this was your generation, Vanessa.
Bitch, you only 10 years younger than me. Don't fucking start that shit. Your generation. You're a
It
millennial
could
too. Shut
be.
the fuck up.
Oh, because me and Matt were actually talking about when does like each generation technically start. And he was saying that his we're going on a tangent for a second, guys, because this was not my original point that I was making. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of count it. I try and count it by like the big events that happened, and that's probably like when this generation started and this generation ended." And so he was like, for him, it was like the assassination of Kennedy would be his generation, and then it probably ended with the shooting of Reagan. And he was like, that's probably like my generation. And then like from there onward was the next generation. And I was like, but he was like, but still that doesn't always work sometimes. Yeah, because I'm like, you have people being born in between that time. And so it can get a little sticky. But that's why I'm like, I don't know if this is technically like my generation, yours. Anyway, here's my original thing. As I'm trying not to offend Vanessa with my original
This is
our
why I do
generation.
this is why I do Instagram posts with other women.
This is why Vanessa is cheating on me. Apparently, this is just a station for it. So anyway, I saw this beauty trend of like a millennial or no, it was a Gen Z person, and they were like, oh yeah, doing like all these like hair trends or whatever from like the old days or something. Like they made it sound old, but like where the lady was like blonde, but she wanted highlights, and so she was squirting a lemon on her head and then going to sit out in the sunlight. And I was like, what is this supposed to do? And apparently, I didn't know about this because obviously I wasn't trying to get highlights in my hair, and I wasn't blonde. I'm also white, but I assume this is something that is exclusive for white hair because I feel like black hair is too like between the pattern of black hair and the coarseness, this probably would not work. But like that the lemon juice combined with the sun and UV rays is supposed to like lighten the streaks of hair that the lemon juice touches. But in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't make sense because there's no chemical reaction. I know that lemon juice brightens things, but it's combined with other things, and there's some sort of chemical reaction. But you're literally just putting lemon on your head and sitting out in the sun. And so I'm like, I didn't know this was a thing. I did not know this was a thing, and I was flabbergasted. My flabbers were gasted. Also, apparently, so is my camera. My camera is flabbergasted.
Your camera's flabbers are gasted. Yes. Editing's going to be such a bitch this month. Yeah. Angelica root is more for divine justice, and basil, like I said, it's used for a lot of different things, but it also it can be used for legal magic as well. I use basil a lot for money magic myself. Dragon's blood is just it's a great enhancer. It is great for banishing and protection. And blessed thistle is for sure a justice herb here. I'm getting all of this at eclecticwitchcraft.com, by the way, for those who are interested. I'm trying to think. Laurel is also, I think, bay laurels, which she does not mention. Bay laurels are also used for justice magic, but I don't see that in here. And the reason I'm saying bay laurels is because bay laurels are generally used for victory.
Mm.
And if you want success in something, you want to add a bay laurel to your justice spell.
Mm. Speaking of justice magic and wanting to know if you might win a court case or not, you can actually also find that out with astrology. In particular,
Yes.
you can.
So when's a
ask
good
the
time to file a
astrologer.
civil case? Astrology and justice.
Yes, you can ask an astrologer to do like a horary question.
Did you say a
And
horary question?
a horary question.
Horary. Okay.
Yes. And I always struggle to say it. Horary astrology is essentially the astrology of questions, and you get horary from it means of the ask. So basically, whenever you ask a question, you need to look at the time that you ask that question. You input it into a birth chart calculator, essentially. You change the housing system to Reggio Montanus, and then it pulls up a birth chart calculator for your question. And based on that, you can come up with the answer for your question. So you can do that for an astrologer, because an everyday person wouldn't know how to decipher that, but an astrologer, a horary astrologer, should be able to let you know whether it's a yes, you'll win, no, you won't win, yes, this person will win, but they won't like the fact that they won, or they won't like what they won, something like that. You can find that out with astrology. So I am currently practicing that right now.
Oops.
Horary astrology. I love that you pulled it up. Yes.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. No, that's horary.
Okay,
Astrology.
okay, cool. Because I wasn't sure. Because I was looking at something else, and then the thing that I wanted did not pop up at all. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
What were you looking at, Vanessa?
It's your fault. You don't live out here to do the moon markets with me. Okay, so shut the fuck up.
But yeah, a lot of astrologers will use horary astrology personally, not just like for life things, but for gambling purposes to see if they'll win. And so horary astrology can be um, very useful when you're talking about, like, if you want to know if you're going to get the job that you interviewed for, or will you like the job that you interviewed for. Should we do like a little test like question, Vanessa? Since you're already sharing the screen.
Yeah. What do we let's do a test question. Let's say somebody wants to know if they're going to get a job.
Date of birth of the question. So the
date of birth of the
question would be today.
Today is the 8th of 1983.
When did we originally ask the question? At like what, 12:15?
12:15 your time, 9:15 mine.
Let's do 12:15 my time since I'm the astrologer. And then you're gonna put in Parma, Ohio. Because the astrologer is just gonna put in where they're reading the question from.
Okay.
And yep, it's already on Reggio Montana, so you can go ahead and calculate the chart. Mm, scroll down. Oh, they even put it in the Egyptian bound. Okay, so I'm not going to take into account like all the planet stuff. Well, actually, no, we can. So let's say if you wanted to know whether or not you're going to get the job that you interviewed for, if this were a
Hmm.
question for me, the person that's asking the question would be represented by the ascendant, which would be Scorpio. The traditional ruler of Scorpio is going to be Mars, which is over there in the eighth in a Mars degree or a Mars bound. So it's over in Cancer. And then we would look at the job. The job is represented by the 10th, um, which in this case, the 10th house starts where we see that bold line that says MC. So it's still in Leo. It looks like, yeah, yep, that's still in Leo. There we go. I always have to double check with these. And so the job is represented by the sun. So we have the sun in Virgo, even though the sun is not in the 10th house, or it is in the 10th house, I guess, but that is not always
Right here.
the
Here's the
case.
house. This
Yep.
is the house. It's in the
Yes.
10th house.
It's in the 10th house. So the sun is in the 10th house and represents the job itself. The person that's asking the question is going to be represented by Mars in Cancer. There is an aspect. We're just looking for an aspect. We're not looking for whether the aspect is good, bad, or indifferent. We're just looking for some sort of like connection between the two planets. Because you have Mars and the sun making an aspect of what would be a sextile. In this case, this person would get the job because there
Through
is some sort of
sex.
connection through sex. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So whip your two
because
dicks
there
out.
is yes. Now, if you wanted to know if they would like the job or not, um, you would ask is the essentially what you would do is you would ask, does the sun enjoy being in Cancer? Is there some sort of adverse, is there some sort of issue with that? You basically switch the placement. So you put Mars, even though Mars is in its deficit or what we call like, like or its fall or whatever. The person that's actually asking for the job might feel just indifferent about that because if we put Mars in Virgo, Mars in Virgo isn't positive, but it's not negative either. It does fine there. And so there isn't any sort of like super positive mutual reception. Um, and so we could just say that, it would be a job, but they will get it. Um, and so that's about where we would stop. But yes, that if that were the question, would you get the job? Yes, you'll get the job.
But there you
Yep.
go. So that's those are two different ways to go ahead and do justice magic and finding justice and finding answers because Libras are people who like to have answers to things and they want to be sure when they make a decision on things anyways.
Oh, yes. So I apologize. We probably should have done a question about like actual judicial things, but neither one of us have any sort of court things going on. And I also am still learning and perfecting how to answer that question. So that's the reason I did not do like an actual like judicial question, just
Yeah.
because I realized that yeah, some of y'all might be like, we're talking about jobs, but we were just talking about justice match.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do
But
it.
that's just an example. Like don't pay
Yeah.
attention to the example. That's actually how you figure out when you if you should be going after this court case or not, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The other thing is like with justice magic, sometimes you have to create your own justice, but you don't want to muck up your karma in the process.
Mhm.
And this is when you want to do things like if you're being stalked, a what I would call an invisibility spell is a really good way to handle someone stalking you, because what it does is it gets the person to no long like you are choosing not to be seen at that point. It doesn't fuck with them at all, and it won't muck up your karma because what you're doing is trying to create a safe space for yourself. Hot foot powder is something that a lot of people use when they're dealing with people that are awful, and they don't want to put them in a jar. But
Like that's not what I would do, but I love that for you. If you don't want to put them in a jar.
if you don't want to put them in a jar, that's fine. You can use hot foot powder. Someone actually asked, this was actually something that came up. They're like, what happens if you're dealing with somebody who's really unfair from a remote job? Just speaking of justice spells.
Mhm.
I say, yeah, that's when you want to put them in a jar with some hot foot powder. And you would do that by just putting in their name and putting in their astrological sign. But Vanessa, how do I find out their astrological sign? Dummy, go to Google. Do you know how many fucking people are up have their information up there?
Or go
You're
to
not dummy.
like
I'm just
group.
disappointed in you. Uh,
Yeah, look, stalk their Facebook.
Stalk their
You
Facebook, seriously. And
go through.
like,
I have many times gone through somebody's Instagram and looked for that happy birthday to me post. Like,
yeah, unless they're like me and they don't actually celebrate their birthday, then you could seriously just go if you can just look them up by their name and last name, and you can find
in
out
their
their birthday
LinkedIn.
and their
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
because
Yeah.
everybody's got a LinkedIn.
I- Is that not the truth? Like, but yeah, so you can look them up that way, and throw them in a jar and put the hot foot powder if you're working with them remotely, and eventually they will, get out of your no-no square.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's some things I have. Those are some suggestions I have. Have you ever done any justice spells or karmic retribution spells?
I did one. I was in a shitty housing situation with a family friend that was the
Hmm.
landlord, and the person that she had put, I guess, on the task of like managing the house was just an asshole and a creep. And she was essentially sleeping with this person. And so no matter how disrespectful this man was to me, she really wouldn't take sides, which was hurtful because she was a family friend. And so ended up I moved in and out of that house like within the same month.
Mm,
And um, and I needed her to transfer her like the gas bill back to her. Because
yeah.
for some reason the gas was saying that I couldn't transfer out until she like said, okay, this is mine again. And so and she wasn't responding to me like about that. And so I put her picture from her LinkedIn, cut it out, put it in a jar with some hot foot powder, and then shook it. And then to make sure that, because sometimes I forget to shake it every day, I just put it in my car. So that one, it was getting extra hot. And then two, when I was driving, it would be shaking anyway.
So
Very
yeah,
shortly after that, she transferred it back.
the spell that I did was watch another ex-boyfriend, my ex-fiance. I didn't curse him. We all know who I cursed. But when he left the house, I was because he was a Satanist, I was kind of afraid of what negative energies he would send in my way. So I put
Mm-hmm.
mirrors up in my house as kind of a return to sender.
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably the most effective way to like if you are truly being cursed, put up a fucking mirror and do a return to sender.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I
So,
see a lot of people do is cord cutting spells.
mm-hmm.
And that is a form of
So,
justice spell, if you ask me.
okay. So here's what I did. Because I shortly after this issue happened with the housing thing, I had a friend at the time who was keeping my cat, and we fell out, and she did some awful things to my cat because she had them in her care, and I had to come get them, and they were traumatized afterwards. So, and there were just a whole bunch of other things. She was sleeping with her cousin. She was a ticking time bomb all on her own. And so I didn't feel the need to curse her. However, what I did do when I got home was I went and bought I can't remember if it was a black candle or a white candle. It was one of those. And I put it in like a small dish with water and then put the candle in it, lit it, and made sure it was in a mirror. So it's just a return to sender kind of thing, catching any bad vibes and channeling it through the candle back through the mirror to the person.
Yeah. Return to sender spells are a really great form of justice spells because you're not doing anything and all you're doing is sending it is, you know, protecting your peace and haha, Virgo season. Um, is protecting your shit and doing what is rightfully yours and keeping things fair.
Yep.
So, Micah, you got anything else? So shall
Lots
we
of
go to the tarot?
bitching. Yes, we'll go to the tarot. All right, Aries, for Libra season. Why so glum, Aries? If my camera would zoom back on me, maybe it will. Here we go. You have the Four of Cups. We're in your opposite signs energy, and so I'm not super surprised that this is a card that you got. You got the Four of Cups, which is just contentment. There might be just kind of like a feeling of you like being like, hey, I did receive something, but it's not what I wanted. I'm not super happy with this. Um, I wanted more, is what I'm getting from this card. Um, Not so much being stuck on how you, I mean, I guess getting stuck on what you thought something was going to, how something was going to play out could be a part of this, but I'm getting more so intuitively that you wanted more from a situation and you got not the bare minimum, but you got a fair amount, but you wanted more in particular. That's what I'm getting for you, Aries. Don't get discouraged, but I'd say don't completely just push away what was given either.
Taurus. I got the Eight of Cups for you guys.
Ouch. Well,
Yeah.
not ouch.
Not ouch, because you're walking away from some shit. I always look at this
Yes.
card like you you're ready to let go. You're ready to heal, you're ready to move on. Whatever it is that was taking up a lot of your emotional energy, you're finally done with it. And congratulations, because honestly, on the other side of this is a really awesome local cafe that has the best lavender lattes, and you should and lemon poppy scones. You should definitely go check that out.
Gemini,
No.
we got the chariot. Got the chariot for you. I do love this for you, but I'm not surprised as well, since this is a sister sign. We're in sister sign season. We're in Libra season. We're in air season. I think you are moving forward with things and victory. You
Finally.
guys are obviously getting a break and seeing some breakthroughs, but this can also be a great time to kind of rebalance things while you have peace as well, and kind of redirecting a lot of energy, maybe pent up energy that you had into building into family or really just building into rearranging the home in particular, taking some private time, meditating, especially since Mars is in you guys' second house, if you like rebudgeting as well. Mars is in Cancer, and I do believe it'll be in Cancer for the majority of Libra season. And so the Chariot card.
Cancer. We have some stability into your life. We got the Four of Wands. So we have some stability going on, and we definitely look, it looks like that you're finally kind of creating a foundation for yourself. There's some things to celebrate here for sure. This is going to be a good time to celebrate some of your successes, some of your wins, because it means that things are starting to settle and things are starting to come together.
Leo. We have the Six of Cups. Yep, the Six of Cups. Um, you're feeling nostalgic. You could be reconnecting with someone from the past. It doesn't have to be romantic. I feel like even more so, this is more like a childhood friend or just going into a time of more peace. But I feel like this is more like you being nostalgic in a way of like spending time with the past, like a childhood friend or somebody that randomly gives you a call and say you haven't talked to them forever. I think that's more so what this is about in particular, especially since it is with Libra season. It has to do with relationships. Um, Libra is your third house, so yeah, even more so. I'm like, I think this is about like a friend, like a childhood friend, or like some sort of acquaintance or someone like popping back up from the past, and just kind of feeling more at peace, or them being a reflection of a time where you were more at peace, and just bringing that peace into your present. So that is for you, Leo.
We skipped Virgo. I feel bad for them.
No, Virgo is right. Virgo is you because I just did Leo.
I know, that's why I said I feel bad for them.
Oh,
Because fuck you, Virgos. You did this to me. You made me do it. We got the Ten of Swords for you guys. I did not intentionally look for the Ten of Swords and pull it. This came out of my deck. So, this is not going to be your season. There's
it
going to be a
is.
lot. Huh?
It is. They're just looking forward. We're just we're
You're
looking
so
forward.
positive and I love it. No, these motherfuckers are going to finally get the pain and the suffering that I've been going through for their season. So,
Virgos.
Virgos, there's gonna you're gonna really feel it this season. There's gonna you're gonna feel very much like you've been betrayed and you've been isolated and you've been um just you know stabbed in the back. This is definitely the your season for some reflecting on what did you do to get 10 swords? Because one sword, that guy's an asshole. But 10, I think there's some self-reflection going on that you guys need to do.
Right. Libra, it's your season. You got the King of Cups. You're feeling nice and stable, practical, very emotionally minded. Lots of
And
harmony.
drunk.
So basically, all the things, maybe, all of the things that I'm so not used to being able to just hold up the card. I can just hold up the card like this now. So we have the King of Cups. So it's an emotionally intelligent yet practical figure. So this could be a water sign, a Cancer in particular. Could be a Cancer or Scorpio. In particular, can be a representation of this card. So if you have one of those in your life, this could be that person being quite helpful during this season, or you just reconnecting with that person. But if not, if this is you, then it can be a time that you are going through your season with a clear mind. The waters of your mind are nice and peaceful. They are equally balanced with emotional understanding as well as practicality and objective to make your decisions, to make the best decisions for you going forward. Ooh,
Or
King.
Scorpio. Yeah, I love that you guys got the King of Wands, by the way,
Mhm.
because I know you guys are air signs, but you are very like forward moving air signs. You're like a hurricane. And
Scorpio is a water sign.
oh, they're a water sign? You hot
Mhm.
waters. You hot waters. I thought they were an
You
air
hot
sign.
water.
You hot waters. So I love the King of Wands for you guys. It's definitely talking about like more action, being more forward. You're going to be tapping into your air, whatever your air, like that Aries side of you is, you're going to be really tapping into it and really taking the lead on things, which is fantastic because you guys are usually the ones who move in the shadows when it comes to revenge and then pop out and be like, ha, motherfucker, it was me. Like, but this time you're gonna be like, ha, motherfucker, I'm taking the lead. And it's gonna be awesome to watch.
Sagittarius. I think you're traveling during Libra season, possibly traveling with somebody that you have romance, finesse. You are the Rizzly Bear this season. You got the Knight of Cups. You are giving all those beautiful words to somebody, to a man, a lady, non-binary person. You are rizzing them up, whether it be in the bedroom, on a date, or in the boardroom,
Or in the courtroom.
or in the courtroom. You're
Go
rizzing them
ahead,
up.
riz up that judge. Mm-hmm.
Yep, rizzing them up. But just be careful that after that riz, you actually follow through on things, um, because you'll probably find that you're gonna be either asked, okay, but what do you truly, tangibly have to offer? Or you might find yourself also being in a situation where you're on the receiving end of somebody that has a lot of good words, but they don't have anything particularly tangible, or they don't have a plan to offer you to get to those things that they have talked up so much.
Capricorn, I swear to God, this is not my oops all swords deck, but oops. You also got the Ten of Swords. So you and Virgo are basically gonna be sitting in the shit together. And again, I think I am putting it on you because Capricorns, you tend to get real rigid and people and real like I get that we're coming up to the end. We're wrapping up the quarter, like we're wrapping up our fiscal years and shit. And that's when you guys tend to get to be tend to be the worst. And that's when people tend to just say, go fuck yourself and leave you holding the bag. So go easy on your team, or else a Scorpio is going to take the lead in the mutiny. And most importantly, don't take that shit personal. Just get it done, like what you do best. You don't see him crying.
I
Capricorns,
would
do
like
what you
to
do
add to
best.
this.
Don't cry. Hmm?
I would like to add to this. I would like to add to this, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Because the Ten of Swords can be like a hard, the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords in particular can be hard to swallow. But the way that I look is not only positive, but it might be able to ease some anxiety. Well, so the man in the picture, can you hold up the card again, Vanessa, if you still have it?
He's
So the man in the picture, yes, he has 10 swords in his back, suggesting that his attacker was chasing after him. So it might be something that you have been running away from, but you were very well aware that you were running away from, and it finally caught up with you. Um, in this case, we could see the Ten of Swords also being about like you see the man, he has his face turned away from you, the viewer of the card, but he's looking towards the sunset. The storm is clearing. So think about all that lifeblood that is bleeding out of him from the Ten of Swords being like all of the things that you were holding in, or that tension that you were holding in. And you are going into the light, so to speak. You are releasing a lot of things. You are having to release a lot of things, and
so
give up a lot of things,
Micah sees
to
the Ten of
better.
Swords as an acupuncture.
Yes, yes. And you are releasing a lot of things to be able to be refilled with a potential new beginning, because we see the sunrise coming up after the storm. in that card in particular. And so there is a positive side. So don't just think that. So it'll be hard, yes. It might feel like a betrayal. You might feel like somebody did you so dirty. But I can't say that you didn't know that it was coming. But it's like, damn, it finally caught up with me. And now I'm here on a beach, bleeding out, looking at all the things, all like watching my life flash before me like a movie as I die and surrender. But look, a sunset that's reinvigorating me into a new beginning. I'm transforming. My soul is going into the ethers and I'm reborn.
I love how she sees it when I'm seeing these storm clouds coming in. It's gonna get hard. I know, like take, but again, you guys have a choice in like how you choose to handle that shit. Yeah, you saw this coming, Virgos. You saw this coming, Capricorns. But this is a really good time to just go ahead and just figure it out and move forward from there.
Aquarius, you're overthinking things and you're thinking too much about the past. At first, I got the Six of Cups, but because I already had a person with the Six of Cups, I needed a bit more clarity on your situation in particular because I was getting nothing from you for the Six of Cups. You're overthinking things and you're thinking yourself into a box here. Um, Letting go is the best thing. I hate to sound like a broken record, as I just talked about the Ten of Swords being a letting go situation, but Libra is your fifth house. And so it can be don't overthink your creativity, don't overthink a risk. Things don't have to be hard. I know you're modern, like you're traditionally ruled by Saturn. You don't have to make things hard for you. You don't have to make extra roadblocks for yourself to be worth it, for things to be worth it. So if somebody new comes into your life, you don't have to hold on to the past so much and overthink it because you have trauma. You can just release that trauma by talking to a therapist. Talk your mind out because this is the Jupiter and Gemini card. Wait, no. Libra is not your fifth house. My bad. Gemini is your fifth house. Sorry. And so focus on creativity as an outlet, and that would make Libra your ninth house. So this could be, just needing to go back home and to be in a place of peace to be able to figure things out accurately.
Pisces.
Be nice to me.
You got the Queen of Wands. It's great.
Yeah.
You guys got the Queen of Wands. You guys are going to be some fierce bitches this Libra season. And you're definitely gonna like definitely going to be standing in your power and setting and standing firm in your boundaries. This is a great season for you guys to, level up your fighting game. Quick tangent. I was watching that, that new trend where like each sign in a horror movie, and they always say Pisces is the serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
This is you entering your serial killer phase. Proud of you.
I feel
Stab
that
with
for us.
love. Hmm?
Stab with love. Okay. Also, Pisces, don't be afraid to get out and do things. I
And
know that
stab
we
with
love
love.
our alone time. Yes, I know we love our alone time, but the Queen of Wands does struggle with being vulnerable. Um, yeah, don't be afraid to go socialize with others. I'm speaking to myself as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Come out, socialize. Come to Tucson. Stop accusing me of cheating on you.
Anyway, so where can I find Jupiter?
Well, you can find me on the TikTok, on the socials, of course, at Bea Bruja, and at the Four of Wands on Fridays and Sundays. I will be starting a class on September 29th called Introduction to Folk Magic and the Rituals Behind It. At the Four of Wands, classes are $89 a class. If you sign up for a bulk, I will take $10 off each class. So $40 discount. That's pretty good. Uh, let's see. I'm not cheating on Micah, but you can find in my Instagram thing that I do now with two of the women from Tattoo Tarot Thursdays at the Four of Wands called Tarot Talk. It is not a podcast, it is an Instagram story because Micah chooses not to live in the sweltering hell of Tucson, Arizona. She has to live with the consequences of her actions. Micah, where can they find you?
You know where they can't find me? In this marriage. Because I'm sending you divorce papers.
We got a Mercury in retrograde. You gotta wait.
um, you can find me at EdenITarot.com. You can find me on all social platforms except for Twitter at EdenITarot. You can find me on Instagram at EdenITarot. You can follow me on TikTok at EdenITarot. Every once in a while, I'm trying to get better at posting. You can find me on YouTube at EdenITarot. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by my birthday, March 10th, 2025. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by then. And so if you could give me a like and follow, I will be posting more videos starting in Libra season. So if you want to get tuned in for all of that, make sure that you give me a like, follow, and subscribe on those videos that will be coming out. And other than that, I think that's about it. Happy Libra season, everybody. We will see you in spooky Scorpio season. Well, maybe we'll do some haunted Scorpio stories because I've got some stories about some scary
Ooh, yeah.
Scorpio experiences.
Yeah, I used to do ghost hunting, so I got some stories too. Yeah.
Everyone have a very safe, very fun start of fall season. Virgo season is the season where we see the season change before we really see a hard turn into fall, into the fall equinox and Libra season. So everybody have fun, be safe, and we will see you next time.
And don't forget to
Bye.
ask Micah your Harry questions.
Oh, yes. And also you can find me, that's what I was missing. You can also find me at Spirit Apothecary on every Thursday and every first and third Saturday. Yes. All
All
right.
right.
See you guys later.
Bye, you
Bye.
hairy whores.